just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know.
And there it is. There's a picture, and again, this is, you said, an Android 2, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
For Verizon.
Or Verizon gave you multiple pictures at once.
Yep. They didn't even take me over there.
Okay, so pretty much you can compare already. The laptop is it took quite longer than the phone.
Yeah.
This is a more portable device. You can open
Look at
you
that.
can open documents on here too, correct?
Correct.
You can go view your personal email address and such. Very nice thin phone. Look at it. You can also expand it. You can scroll down on pictures. You can compare the size of the phone. This is not even a fourth of an inch compared to this thing right here. I can't put this thing in my pocket. It's small, but I can't put it in my pocket. Teacher comes and I put it on there, and there you go. I was never texting.
Hey, look, we was in there last night, though. We had a gallon of everything. Hey.
Stop! This is what they think that we do at Phoenix when we have our cell phones.
Major Seymour, what is the school policy for cell phones?
They're not authorized in school.
Okay, so do you think that cell phones can be used for educational purposes at all?
I don't think there's any use for them at all,
Like
ever.
calculators, notes,
We
stuff
have
like that?
calculators. You can bring your graphing calculator, you can bring that, and you can even have it out.
What's the school policy for phones?
Zero tolerance.
You think that's fair?
I think it's very fair.
Do you think that phones can be used at all for educational purposes?
I think they can be, yes.
Do you feel as if cell phones have a role in Chicago Public Schools today?
Absolutely. I mean, we can't deny technology. It's here to stay. It's also an important communication tool for the kids and their parents.
Well, I'm making a video that am trying to document that cell phones have an instructional value. I'm trying to raise awareness that cell phones are here to stay and that maybe we should reevaluate or maybe even readjust our policies and attitudes towards cell phones.
My opinion, I like phones. I think every teenager does.
How does it feel to not have a phone? I have no ways to get in contact with certain people, so therefore I can get lost, not lost, but I can vanish from the world for a long period of time. I don't be able to send out my good morning text messages anymore.
What is a good morning text?
Like like a motivational text message that I sent out to numerous kids in my senior class and in other schools.
And do anyone contact you about not sending a good morning text?
Yes, I got hold to my phone the other day. It said 137 unread messages, and then it told me to delete messages so I can get the rest of them.
The policy is no tolerance, so no electronics, no phones whatsoever.
So you don't think cell phones can be used for positive
No.
educational purposes at all?
No, starts more fights than anything. Turn on their brain matter and turn off the cell phone.
Even this morning, we were on a 3-day trip out of state. One of the students was checking their first class, checking their grade book to see what the teacher assignments they had missed. This was at a rest stop on the road. I didn't know that smartphones could actually access that part of the internet, so she taught me a lesson there.
What is this?
I have my email on my phone.
You got email on your phone?
Gmail.
What kind of phone is this?
Android too.
Very high tech.
Very good. Look at this.
Have you ever had your phone taken away?
Yeah, it's usually once a year by Mr. McCabe.
I mean, it's all on a phone. It's convenient. Well, I'll show you. So, you know, if you're, it's not. I don't suggest it, but I mean, it's an easy way of doing it. I know it's kind of contradicting, but you know, I'm sure most teachers would improve it, but I think it's very beneficial.
For our video documentary, we have been investigating the thesis. And that thesis is, do cell phones that everybody seems to possess and that are relatively cheap, do the applications and resources that cell phones provide, do they have an instructional value in Chicago Public Schools today? The policy set forth by our administration is crystal clear. That being said, because now we know this simple policy, all right? No, zero tolerance. What do you think? Remember, we're trying to advocate for the right to use these more freely with more educational value. What did we come up with over the course of these weeks as a comparable or, let's say, more student-friendly policy? So let's look at one practical application for the policy that in theory we violated. For the people in the AP class, and there's lots of you here, I have been letting yourself manage your time on your cell phones for better accuracy. Because it's a lot, in my opinion, it's a good tool for that. I'm going to recite the Phoenix Military Academy policy, but I'm going to use the word accept, and I want you to fill in the blank. At Phoenix Military Academy, there are no technology devices, cell phones, MP3 players, etc. They will be confiscated. The policy is zero tolerance except. When they are used for instruction, except.
During lunch.
During lunch, except. Emergency purposes, except. In between classes, except. When a teacher allows it. Good, Alyssa, except.
When you're writing a paper on Microsoft Word on your BlackBerry.
When you're writing a paper on Microsoft Word on your BlackBerry, except.
Checking your grades when they're sent.
Checking your grades when you set up a trigger on Gradebook, except.
Checking your email.
Checking your email, except.
When a computer's not available.
When a computer's not available.
Okay. Cell phones are really disruptive in our classes.
So do
you
think cell phones can be used for educational purposes?
At all whatsoever?
Well, it depends on what's on your phone. I mean, you know,
like calculators, notes, stuff like that.
Right? You can get online sometimes with your phone. So I mean, theoretically, yeah.
Most of the teachers say that it's a like distraction in class.
but they don't really see the whole picture, how it could help students in academics, and how it could keep them updated. And we wanted your opinion on, do you believe cell phones are a good source for instruction?
Well, I haven't ever seen or experienced a student able to pull information off of their cell phone. I've seen plenty of students walking around with like those little notebooks, the mini laptops. I really think those are great, and I don't have a problem with those in class so much as the phones. I think the phone and that little laptop would probably do the same thing. It's just that there's that added part of the phone where you could text, or you could be looking at a bunch of other stuff. Now I do realize with a laptop you could probably be looking at other stuff, but I've never seen a student able to really retrieve good information from their phone, although they probably could. The phone seems to me primarily used to communicate with people rather than retrieve information.
Well, I think it's up to the teacher. It's not really up to the students, because if they can explain how they're going to use it, whether it be Mr. Edwards letting you use your cell phone to check your email, or for maybe get online or some other reasons like that, then there can be an exception being made. But if it's for students, I mean, the administration's going to be guessing that, and there's no way to track, you just texting your friend whether they're in the school or out of the school. So it really would be up to the teacher.
I'm a Spanish teacher, language teacher, and I think that it will help tremendously my class, because they're communicating in a different language. They're learning outside of the school, but there are some drawbacks. For example, immature students that won't do the homework, will just play around, and will just get off the whole lesson. But it does have their benefits, especially in the language class. But depends on the students. So I think in the long run, it will help the students learn more in the curriculum.
Tell you to write a paper, you won't write a paper, but you'll text somebody in a hot minute and make sure you keep gossip going. It's a bunch of mess. The power that little instrument has over you.
Okay.
It's a shame. They should all be confiscated and burned at the stake.
The apps that are available can replace graphing calculators. They have thesaurus, they have vocabulary, skill builders. All these mini apps can be used very educationally. So the key is to get the students to realize that this is the educational tool, not the fun chit-chat device that it can be, or the game-playing device that it obviously is. It's much more, there's a lot more capability built in. And when they get to a point where they accept that and minimize everything else, use it as an educational tool, then we can endorse it fully.
We're doing the pros and cons of phone confiscation. So do you think you should be allowed, or any teacher should be allowed to confiscate phones?
In the school environment?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
From the students, I mean. Well, what would they react to you when you take away their phone?
Some of them cry, some of them beg and plead, most of them just accept it. I rather enjoy it when they cry and beg.
Okay, has a parent ever had to come to pick up their phone and even they had a problem with you confiscating their phone?
They do, but they can have as many problems as they do. I'm going to enforce the policy.
Ms. Swift, as a principal, what is your, pros and cons of phone confiscation?
Well, the pros is, number one, is less incident. I think the school is not ready for this type of responsibility where the phone is used in terms of educational wise. They use the phone in terms of information wise. Let me give you an example. If there's a fight going on the second floor, with a cell phone, things could multiply within 30 seconds.
What would you think would be the pros for phone confiscation?
The pros would be that you don't get distracted in class.
I think the pros would be like students won't get distracted just like by texting during class.
A pro for phone confiscation would be you won't be distracted in class, so you'll be able to pay attention.
Also that you don't do things that you're not supposed to while you're in class. When you're in the classroom, you're supposed to be paying attention to the teacher and learning something instead of texting your friends what they're going to do later, what they're going to eat for dinner, or just, surfing the web or doing all kinds of things with phones nowadays that you could do.
One of the cons is you'll get mad because you don't have your phone no more and you won't be able to text, and it's your own personal items.
The bad thing is that people are so attached to them nowadays that if they do take your phone away, you feel like your world's gonna end.
Do you know why your administration has such a hard line here?
I think it's a distraction. They think it's a distraction for us and bullying and stuff like that, but I don't think no cell phones is going to affect the bullying in school.
Do you think bullying is going to happen whether we have phones or not?
Yeah.
So, hold on. So, therefore, since we're trying to establish that cell phones might have an education purpose, do you think that by making this video, we might be able to change a few minds here? And if so, what would you want to say to teachers about cell phones, about what they can or cannot do in the classroom?
I think we could change it. I think that if everybody had the right or had a certain kind of cell phone, we could communicate better with teachers. Teachers could, like it was brought up in a topic in class, teachers don't, or students aren't asked what they want to learn. Teachers just direct. I think that if students had more communication with teachers, there would be more interaction in the classroom, and teachers would have a good communication relationship with teachers better, instead of just do this, learn that, take a test, and that's it.